Mom of two young boys.
Yep.
And what I wanted to tell you, I never thought, did you ever think that you would be sitting here chatting with me and I have Eileen on?
You're wearing
Yes.
Islands. Oh, I love
I
you.
mean, through this community, now you have a highlighter named after you.
It's still surreal. Like, I don't know. I think it was 2023.
I mean, and she's a perfect example, Carissa, of the power of
Yep.
community because I watched her
And uplifting women
and
and
really
women's
like
businesses, like for you,
promote.
how you
Yeah,
guys did a collaboration,
right,
just
right,
like, yeah.
right. And like she was like, I'm like, I think about you every day because I wear her. I mean, literally, I
Really?
think about her every day because I wear her makeup. And
Yep.
she's like, and I use, I was like, I sent her this big gift basket, and I was like embarrassed because
Aw.
no, she had a whole drawer of my product.
Oh, that's okay.
You are so inspiring because I've watched your running.
Oh, man.
Your running get better and better and better,
Thank
and
you.
it's an awesome thing to watch.
Yeah. Well, you inspired me actually, Courtney.
Well, thank you. I'm glad.
I'm like, I'm not a runner. Like, and I just didn't love it.
Yeah.
But like I what I found most with my journey through it is that I I think I was just always stopping believing in myself.
Right.
And I was like, I don't have to be the fastest runner.
Yeah.
I don't have to be the best runner.
Right.
Like those are the things that I saw in like you and other people that were running in my community that like, made me feel like I mean, I remember when I was in my half marathon, Ebony like made me cry because she was like, this is your race.
Yeah.
Like nobody else's. Like
Right.
like all of you guys actually, I
Right.
remember. And
Right.
do you remember that conversation where we are all sitting down?
Yes.
Like, you guys, I'm
Yes.
gonna cry. And
Yeah.
like you had something to say, Janera had something to
Yeah.
say,
Yes.
all,
Yes.
and like and I was like, you know what, you're right. Like, what why am I doubting myself,
Right. Right.
But
Because there's a huge realm. I mean, there are
Mhm.
elite runners
Yeah.
and that are amazing to watch and
Hmm.
are sponsored and get paid. And
Yep.
they're, and then it like trickles down to like runners like me that I don't really give a shit. I'm just
Right.
doing it for myself. You know what I
Same.
mean? Like, and just to like, I have like a dialogue going on in my head, and I
Hmm.
don't really, Eileen, I mean, I love to spin. I will
Hmm.
always love to spin. It's just, my connection to fitness. I love to sweat. I love to get on the bike. I love
Yep.
the whole experience.
Hmm.
I don't feel the same with running, but
Same.
I do feel like, my wheelhouse is like walk run, and
Same. I
the
love those.
programming is great. And that is, but it didn't, it was a journey that
Hmm.
evolved into that because like, I mean, I was a lot younger too when I ran my first half marathon. I remember running for 10 straight like literally 10 straight miles because in my head I'm like, you can't fucking stop.
You can't what? Yeah, I
And
know.
so, but when I mentally, and it's mental and
It
physical,
is.
when I got to the 10 miles, I was right. I was like, all right, where is the finish line?
Yeah.
So that last 3 miles was like
Hmm.
it was torture. But
Yeah.
now, so fast forward, I mean, and going into the marathon, I mean, I'm realistic. Like I've run half marathons, so I know what I remember running one in Vegas. I'm like, this, like
Right.
literally, I was ready
And that one
to.
sucked, if I remember right, for
Huh?
you. Did that one suck for you?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I remember. Yeah.
And so I remember, I remember like stopping and being like, I could quit right now. No one, I mean,
Right.
and then oh my God, Dana Hartman sent me a message over my headphones. I'm like, oh my God, people are watching. People are watching me. Oh my God. She's like, whatever she said. It was just like,
You're on mile
yeah,
whatever.
it was an inspiring thing. And I was like, so, going into the marathon and, I did it for different reasons, like I love New York. It was a great day with, New York and,
You did the one marathon or did you do two?
just one.
Just one.
I might have two in me, but just one.
Yeah.
And so, I knew going into it, I'm like,
Yeah. And
we're going to
the
take
cause
it. And
that you
that's how
did was
I
amazing.
trained.
Yes.
But I do feel like, you know, it is like having a baby. Like,
Mm.
even though I trained,
You never know what to expect.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right,
And like it's not just like the physical part, right, of having a baby. It's also the mental because
right.
not like because then it's like it's I mean, I've never done a marathon, but for my half, I was just like all the stuff that was going on in my head. Like, I can't do it. Yes, you can. You've done things harder than this.
Right,
No, I don't want to.
right,
This hurts, that hurts,
right.
just it's mind-boggling.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so like I run. I don't, it's not like I like little runs,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
and I definitely do feel like it makes me feel amazing, when
Yeah.
my body is not hurting. That's always a plus.
Yeah.
And right now it's not, knock on
But
wood.
you did, when you were training for the marathon, you did longer runs though, right? Or did you
Oh my
always keep
God.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Yeah.
what I thought. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I remember like, but I do crazy. I did like there's a high school by me and I like ran the track,
Oh, yeah.
or I run. I mean, it's pretty, I mean, you live in Seattle, so
Yeah.
it's picturesque, but like where I live by the water in Brooklyn, so like I ran by the water.
Yeah.
Um, like ran from my house to Target, which is 10 miles, along the
Yeah.
water. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, so I wanted to highlight you because I'm watching you
Thank you.
and I really want to celebrate all your efforts because I know that, and
That means
especially
a
with
lot.
being surrounded by women that you know, are, elite, and to us,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
run 4 hour marathons or
Yes.
less, and it's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
I just feel like I always wanted to be an athlete, like not an athlete, well, in high school, an athlete or be on the team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now
Yeah.
I feel like I am part of, a team, even if I,
Yeah.
run every day.
Right.
Do you find it hard to stay committed?
You know, with running or with just like doing anything for like my,
Just for yourself,
yeah.
with having to, like having an identity
Right.
besides, being a mom.
Yes. I think that what I mostly do it for and why I feel that I'm so committed, I would say I'm more like disciplined, is that like I just have to do it for my mental health.
Yeah, me
And
too.
so and really that's the only reason why I do it. Because I find like I get so impatient with my kids if I
Yeah,
don't. And I just get mad at them because like it's like I couldn't fill my cup first or take care of myself first.
right,
And so I just get edgy with them.
right.
And so I like it's almost like a need that I have, a necessity that I have to do it. So I don't find like I have days where I'm like not motivated. We all do, and I just don't even want to do it. And then I'll just be like, you know what, I can't do this, but I'll do something. Like I have to
Yeah,
walk or
right,
something, you know?
right.
And but yeah, I do it mostly for my mental health, and that's the main reason. And like it's just hard because I think that when I left work to be a stay-at-home mom, I didn't really want to, but it was like just kind of the easiest decision
Right.
to make at that time. I didn't love my job, what I was doing at the time. I was a phlebotomist in the lab. And before that, I worked for restaurants for over a decade.
Right.
And I love that business, but it was crazy, you know, like working in a restaurant. And so when I decided to step back from work, it was just so lonely.
Yeah.
And I had so much postpartum from Crosby, my first, and I it was just like, I mean, I would get up and move and function, but like I was just so lonely. Like, you know, I wouldn't really talk to him. People like, you need to talk to your baby. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna say to this thing? Like,
Right. Right. Right.
I'm gonna change your diaper. Like, I don't
Right.
know. I mean,
Right.
I'm like zoned out, you know, and that's when I found CrossFit. And I found some moms in the CrossFit gym. And
Yeah.
then I was just like, wow. And that was a year later, postpartum. And it totally changed my mentality. And I think that's what stuck with me is because when that happened, I found that community through sweat.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like I see these other women doing hard things and like people were doing pull ups. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. You know, like that's never happened. But you know, it's just like empowering to see these
Totally.
in different bodies because the one that I went to was such a like average Joe CrossFit. And
Yeah.
that's what I loved about it is that it was just so like, I mean, there was 70-year-olds. There was like every type of different body. So like I didn't feel like, you know, weird, you know, like at other CrossFit gyms where you're just seeing all these people with great bodies or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And so I love that. But and then, you know, just building that community with moms and it just felt good. So I think that that's what I made it a priority of doing and taking
Right.
care of myself. And it was like kind of like my number one job for myself, you know, at that point of everything else that I'm doing with our family and our world and our life and at home, you know? So yeah,
Yeah.
that's basically where it started.
I totally completely connect. I mean, I was thinking before we got on this call about like I started, being physical like in my 20s,
Hmm.
like in my later 20s. So then
Hmm.
it's like I use like exercise to like get back into shape after,
Same.
I had my kids. And now it's like I just never thought that like, I would have all these long distance
I
relationships
know.
sweating.
Well,
You know?
and it's also funny to me because like even though I had like such a big community in CrossFit, and then obviously the pandemic and COVID happened and stuff, and so it was so weird. But like I was just in Hawaii and I was working at a gym, and I'm like, I do not miss going to a gym at all.
Yeah.
Like I hated it.
Yeah.
Well, and also I have ADHD, so I was just like, squirrel, squirrel, what are they doing? What are they doing? It's like I just want to be in the privacy of my own home. And I was just like, I hate this tread. It is not a Peloton
Right.
tread.
Right.
This bike sucks.
Right. 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 I
Like
was telling
first world problems.
my niece, she was saying how she was going to go to Pilates. And I'm like,
Why?
that's what I said. I said, I have 3 spin bikes. I will gladly give you one. Think
Yeah. Yeah.
she, I mean, who knows if she's going to take me up on it, but I'm like, you don't understand. You have a little baby
Yeah.
that,
That's hard. That's hard.
right. But you could have the baby next to you and be
Yeah.
working out. You don't have
100%.
to
I
leave
wish I
your
had
house.
that. I
Right.
wish I had that because I think it was harder getting to the gym, even though it was like a mile away from me. It
Yeah.
was so hard.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
getting dressed and like, I mean,
Yeah.
talking to people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. I mean, for me, like I remember when Dave was like, "Oh, we'll get this, do you want to, this spin bike?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I like going up the block
Mm-hmm.
to up 3 blocks to New York Sports and my spin classes,
Yeah.
I, and that was like, you know, I've always like I parlayed my career into like working with my kids, but it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like full time. It was just like project to project where if
Right.
I pulled an all-nighter, it was like that's what I had to do. And then the job was done. And so,
Right.
being a freelancer, but also it was lonely, it definitely was lonely. So I did like going to the gym, and it was just my routine, and like putting Tegan into the daycare
Yeah.
or whatever. But so then when we got our bike, like, and I came up with my new path in my career.
That story just gave me goosebumps though when I didn't know that you like grabbed a did something happen?
No, I just have to. We have 9 minutes.
Oh, where you said in like a recent reel or
Oh
something
yeah,
that you grabbed your tab or what
yeah.
was it and you're just like that's where I made my protocol and I just like got goosebumps. Like Courtney, you amaze me.
Well, it's it is a yeah, yeah. I mean, so I definitely would go into the studio more to kind of like really like seep in
Mm-hmm.
the community and like the energy, and
Mm-hmm.
and then the rest is history. I'm still slinging towels.
Yeah. But yeah, the community is huge. Long distance or not, like how we show up for each other
Right,
in text messages or videos, chats,
right,
whatever, and even when we're not together or like when we are together and we're at Peloton and
right,
we're not at Peloton and we're doing a race or, it's just
right.
so, it's an
Hard to
experience.
explain.
It's hard to explain, but it's an experience that like, I wish people would have more because it's an amazing thing.
Yes, yes. Well, I love you.
I love you so
And I
much.